Okay, 25 random facts about me. 1. My full name is John Archibald Ardelli. 2. I was born July 1st, 1972. So I guess it's appropriate that I am a Canadian insofar as I share the birthday with Canada, if not the birth year. Fact number 3. I don't own a car, never have. I get around exclusively by bicycle year round. In the winter, I use a mountain bike, a 2009 Giant Rincon, and through the summer, I use a heavily modified Norco 2006 Norco VFR3, which actually is right behind me here. And by modified, I mean that basically the Norco VFR3 is what Norco calls a performance commuting bike. And as you can see, it's basically a road bike with a beefier frame, so she's a little heavier than the average road bike. And the modifications I made are replaced the drivetrain, the chain rings, the derailleur. I put some extra gears on it. There's three chain rings instead of two it comes with. And I put the drop handlebars on it. Drop handlebars are important when you want to go into the wind. Okay, fact number 4. Around sometime in elementary school, I forget exactly what year, probably sometime before grade 3 though, a friend of mine at the time, Jamie Willis, made up a parody of my full name, John Archibald Ardelli, and he called me John's Itchy Balls Are Smelly. I made the mistake of telling this story to my friend Evan Perry, and to this day he still calls me Itch as a result of that thing. Anyway, fact number 5, I work at a call center called Servicom here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada, where I live. And at the moment, I'm doing survey work, but I've done a plethora of things there, from auditing other people's sales programs. They were auditing the recordings off the floor and different office work. That leads me to fact number 6. I type at 95 words a minute. And also that connects to fact number 7. I always wanted to be a filmmaker, but I have since decided that this is not what I want to do, simply because it takes up so much of my time. I would prefer to be always available to the people I love in case they need help. So now I just mostly write as a hobby, occasionally writing a screenplay or teleplay just for my own amusement. But I have, and that brings me to fact number 8, which I wrote. My first full-length screenplay that I actually completed was a screenplay called The Crystal of Truth, a sequel to the Jim Henson film The Dark Crystal. You can find this online relatively easily. Fact number 9. I've had a beard ever since grade 11. Through grade 10, I had my face shaved. But I didn't really want to shave. Actually, even when I first started growing my beard, I wanted to let it grow, but my grandmother and my uncle who raised me, there's fact number 10, I was raised by my grandmother and my uncle, not by my parents. They didn't want me to keep the beard at the time, and being a young kid, there was no arguing with them, so I didn't get to grow it until the end of grade 10. When I left high school in grade 10, I grew the beard over the summer, and by grade 11 I had the beard, and I've had a beard ever since. Now I kind of goatee. I still need to trim this up a little bit. That's actually good fact number 11, actually. I've been going to the same barber since I was a little kid, 7 or 8 years old, out in Sydney River. The barber's now called Berth Ann's Barber Shop, but it was originally owned by a man named Campbell. Actually, he just kind of passed on down to her. Fact number 12. I hope I haven't lost count of the facts here. Anyway, fact 12. I never failed a single grade in school. I've not been the stellar student, but I at least made it through and graduated from Riverview Rural High School in 1990. And fact number 13, I did go into college out of high school. It took 2 years of business technology management at what was then UCCB, the University College of Cape Breton, now known as Cape Breton University. But I discovered that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And fact number 14, I'm sorry. I love video technology, and I'm very excited about all of the new advances, high definition video, but unfortunately I don't have a whole lot of money available right now, so I got a relatively small, cheap TV, but at least it does have high def capability. I've got a DVR. That brings me to 15. Fact 15. My favorite shows are all three CSI series: Holmes Inspection, The Simpsons, Judge Judy. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking. Then there's a few others. Well, I mean, like I love The Nature of Things and Nova, any documentary programs. 16. The first film I ever saw in Dolby Digital or any digital sound process was Star Trek: First Contact. At the time, Empire Theaters had DTS and Dolby Digital in one DTS in Cinema 1 and Dolby Digital in Cinema 2, and was running the film in both theaters. So I got a chance to compare the two systems with the same film, and I found out that Dolby Digital had better bass presence than DTS, and I've always preferred Dolby Digital ever since. Fact number 17. The furthest I've ever driven my bicycle was 137.75 kilometers from here to visit a friend who was at the time living in Port Hastings. Fact number 18. The furthest I've ever been from my hometown here in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada, was Orlando, Florida, when I went with my former fiancée, Lisa Brewer, and her mother to Walt Disney World and Universal Studios, all that out there. Fact number 19, I was born in Lachine, Quebec. These are the farthest places I've ever been. I've only been to the United States once. I've been, unlike Mr. Paula, whom I'm responding to here, I have not been to 20-something odd countries, or 16 countries, I believe he said. Fact number 20. Big fan of the Macintosh computer. However, I've gotten more respect for Windows over the last several years because, again, Windows has gotten a lot more stable, but I still think that the Macintosh is the far more elegant system. My machine here is an iMac, and I will always have a Macintosh machine. Fact number 21, I sing. I do my own singing. Last Christmas, I actually created a CD, which I called John Ardelli My Way, where I did 20 songs, which with the new GarageBand recording studio in the iMac here, had a lot of fun doing that. Fact number 22. When I was a little kid, I used to love playing chase on bicycles with these older kids. And one day, I decided that I was going to take a shortcut to try to cut them off because they were on 10-speed bikes, and it was at night. I didn't have a light, and I forgot about the clothesline in this neighbor's yard. I remember the clothesline was here, but I forgot about this guy wire. It comes down like this, that was holding up the post, and my front wheel hit that, and I flipped arse over tea kettle, and the bike landed on top of me. And this was one of those big faux motorcycle things, 70 pounds, that hit my knee, pretty painful, but it was probably the most serious accident I've ever had on a bike. Oh wait, no, let me go to fact 23 and backpedal on that, no pun intended, because there was one slightly more serious accident. Rounding a corner on Byng Avenue off of Kings Road, I decided to go around the corner at 30 kilometers an hour, and I made the mistake of applying my front brake. You don't do that when you're leaning deep into a turn. I went down pretty hard, still got a scar on my elbow. You probably can't see it, the resolution's not high enough, but there's still a scar on my elbow here. Tore up the brake cable, shattered the side of my helmet. Thank goodness I was wearing it, or that would have been the side of my skull. So now I'm a big advocate for bicycle helmets as well. Fact number 24, going back to the bicycle, my top speed record on a bicycle in general is 75 kilometers an hour, which I set with the bike I used to have, a 2004 Norco Screamer. It was a mountain bike modified for road riding with my top speed. And fact number 25, my top speed record on the Norco VFR3 back here is 70.05 kilometers per hour. I'm hoping to break 80 sometime this year. I set 70.05, by the way, on my way to Port Hawkesbury, just outside of Johnstown. And that's 25 facts about John Ardelli.